Helping someone is the hardest thing in the world. Hurting someone pushes them away. Help someone, they'll need you again and again and again. They will need to return the favor, reimburse you, or they'll need your help forevermore. You can be sure that you're the new center of their world. I have never met someone who needs people more intensely than Megan. Both Primrose and I. Actually, saying no to someone in need, that's the hardest thing in the world.
Figure out what.
Helping someone is the hardest. Hurting someone, they will need to. I have never actually.
Help. Well.
It was time to say no. Perhaps it was time long ago. And I knew what it would mean for me, the cost for me. But this wouldn't be our ending, not for any of us. I knew that the moment I saw Primrose behind the buckthorn bush. It all clicked together. I knew what we all were in that moment. We were family. I was going to help my family by saying no.
Saying no.
Primrose was there again, behind the buckthorn bush, as Megan begged for another return. Primrose had been there, without fail, for the past 3 returns. Every time the needle took all 3 of us back, and every time Primrose rushed to be in bed before her mother arrived. Megan never saw her. Never thought that Primrose might have been following her. All Megan saw was a cruel fate, a daughter getting progressively ill within a time loop. But
No. So she had months to live. But every time she went back, it hurt her more than anything. Illness never stopped. Her illness kept him. Oh my god, that's a cruel fate. That while being stuck in the 30 days and saving her. Damn.
I struggled with what family meant. Never having parents or siblings will do that to you. But I found myself pulled into Primrose and Megan's lives more and more, like a black hole. I've tried to move on and away, but they've needed me. I felt responsible. I've wanted to see them happy. And, if I'm honest, I felt happy that they needed me. I can only imagine that is what family means. Joss, Primrose, and Megan weren't the first people I had encountered. There were the people of the colony to the east. There were the smaller people of the southeast. They were quick to their pikes and pushed me back into a tree line. Men and women would occasionally stray close to me. They were so caught up in their hunting and woodcutting that I didn't want to interrupt. But there was something different about the family. They seemed to have this happy energy, and I wondered what it would be like to share in that.
Hold on. So before this entire thing up here, before this lived here next to the colony, and she watched the young village grow up. But they pushed her back even more. She was somewhere here. So the village pushed her back even more. What about the book? Fuck. Go away. There we go.
The buckthorn is a versatile bush. Its berries can be crushed and heated to make a salve, while its leaves can be used like a smelling salt, waking up the unconscious. And it makes for a great hiding spot, of course. Primrose proved that every returning, keeping well away from Megan. Is it ironic that Primrose fainted on it? I'm not sure I have a handle on irony yet.
Wait. So it can wake people up if they fall asleep. So the fact that she fainted on it only to wake up is ironic. But she keeps calling it the jump back.
I never told Megan how much a returning hurt. It didn't just sap the energy of the needle. It sapped from me, too. I would sleep, propped up next to the needle. It would give off a little heat as it recharged, and it felt like it was doing the same to me. I was born as I am now. I didn't have a mother, father, or childhood. I was me, nothing more. And I came to, next to the needle. I knew what the needle was, but I knew next to nothing about myself. I knew how to use the needle, what its limits were, how it used time. But I had no idea about people, the world, nothing. I'm learning fast, and leaving a trail of mistakes behind me, I'm sure of.
So is she the manifestation then of the needle? Talk about the.
Something was always going to give. We couldn't loop forever, and at some point, we would reach an ending. And now we've reached it. But is it a closed loop, or the start of another story?
Talk about fate.
Megan never understood why Primrose was getting progressively ill after each return. She would walk.
Let's talk about the demon. Okay, she doesn't. Demon then?
Ever since Megan burned the books, something had moved in her. It was like Megan shifted aside to be seen only occasionally. There was something in there with her. At first I thought she just abandoned her sense of self, given everything up for Primrose. But no, there was someone in there with her. A thing. I'd always meant to ask Primrose if there was something in the books, something that might have been unleashed when Megan burned them. But Primrose and I were kept apart by Megan. We never had the chance to talk like we did before. Was this thing in Megan from the books? Why did I never ask her?
Well,
Megan asked that I stay by the needle. She was to look after Primrose from now on. Somewhere along the line, she had lost her trust in me. Before returning, she would often burn Primrose's books. It was like a ritual, a habit she couldn't crawl out of. But Primrose wouldn't wake from it this time. She lay. If Megan was clearer of mind, she would have seen it for the clue that it was. Primrose was aware of everything she was doing. It was at the end of one of the returnings. Once Primrose had rushed home and Megan followed a little time after. Primrose had hooked a small sheet of paper onto a buckthorn, a message for me. It spoke of a necessary evil.
Also, wasn't there supposed to be a grave around? For reasons I never understood, you've always been there for us. Seen me at the very for both reasons I feared. When I found out what Mom was doing, turning back as soon as she I thought about confronting her and telling myself to let me die. To enjoy the moment of she wouldn't die. Necessary. Couldn't let my mom that I was aware that the truth was why don't my coming to the berry bush, not for me. It was for mom. And you all did. To break so that she look after.
Dear Gail, for reasons I've never understood, you've always been there for us.
Oh, I
When
just
I
read.
found, but I knew that there was only one. I hope you're, if not for me, look after her, Gail. Primrose.
Wait, she said she fainted.
Primrose fainted loudly, crashing into the buckthorn. Megan had heard, and I couldn't stop her from running to her. Megan assumed the worst. She was panicking, shaking Primrose. She couldn't sense life as I could, and there was a thread of it still in Primrose. Megan was convinced that Primrose was dead, and I couldn't convince her otherwise. It is cruel to think it, but I believe that Megan wanted it to be true in some way. Deep down, she wanted to end this loop she had created for herself. That was when I saw the knife in her hand.
Wait, what? Knife?
The knife slipped between my ribs. I don't remember much of what Megan said as she stood above me, but it was clear she blamed me for Primrose's death. Then she ran downhill, and I moved as close to the needle as I could. My life was ebbing, but I was still able to touch the needle. I prepared to use the pausing phrase, when love. Perhaps somehow we will be found. With the needle, they will understand our story and save us all. Megan, Primrose, and myself. It's the only way this can all be unwritten.
When?
There wasn't much left of Primrose anymore. She found strength to make it up to the hilltop. She found it from somewhere, but she was rarely awake otherwise. Often, I would let myself into the house as both Megan and Primrose were asleep. Buckthornberry makes a rudimentary salve, and I would apply it to Primrose as she dreamed. It eased her pain, but there was no stopping her fate. I couldn't stay for long in the house, not only because I might get caught, but because I felt I was being watched. Someone, something, staring at me. Is there death in my future? Can I die? Or am I more kin to the needle than Primrose or Megan? Whatever the answer, I feel like I have more stories in me. I don't feel like this is the end. Something tells me that this is not the beginning either.
Is this what we heard? The pond. Find a cure. Doesn't think about the berries.
Who are you, Megan? Is mine. This family is mine. You hear me?
Is she gone? She's that thing in me. It's quiet. Whatever did you do? Please, help Primrose. And Gail. Gods, Gail.
Look at Gail. Well,
What's happened? Please, find her. She's not safe by herself.
yeah. Get some berries to make a cure. doing. Oh, now we need. Oh. Whoops! Didn't mean to bump that. Back.
Give me some time to get my wind back. Wake Primrose. The buckthorn leaf will do that for you. And please... Megan, I haven't been honest with you. I knew what Primrose was doing, but didn't feel it was my place to intervene. I'm still not sure if I made the right decision. But we are here. The decision was made. You have 3 options, Megan. You take the time that Primrose has remaining, and you bring her as much joy as you possibly can. Enjoy your days together, but they will be days. The second is to allow you the returning, just one last time. Although I denied you it, it was because you were not yourself. It would allow you one last month. But there is a dishonesty in that, and Primrose is unsure of you in that time. It may not be the release you are looking for. The third option may be the least satisfying for you, but it may save Primrose. It would require a great sacrifice from you. I told you it can go. Whomever we could send Primrose back. Years in the past. She would be paired with the needle, but she would also share its strength. She would be healed. But she would also have no memory of you or her own past. She would be a newborn in terms of the mind. I ask you, Megan, would you let her die now, in a month's time, or be reborn with no memory of you?
There's no way in this life that I'm going to take my needs over Primrose's. Not again. I've done far. Send her back with the needle. Do what you can to save her, Gail.
I understand. Could you both wait in the house?
Back up. No. Maybe it'll make me read it. The needle's magic work. Primrose survived and will live a long life. I'm sending you love. Not missing Primrose back in time and tied her to the needle. I hope you need to know. By doing so, she woke up 3 years previous without any memory of who she was. She was alone, but she would not be alone. How do I know this? I know this because I'm completely Gail is in fact Primrose.
Gail was my daughter, and now she leaves me. Again. Well then, I'd better prepare for her coming back. She can't come back to this mess. That will never do. Thank you for helping us all. Take the needle. I have no need of it. But now it is time to tie.
Wow. We've completed the needle. In this far corner of the Gillinois. We've solved the mystery that is the needle. Gail, Primrose, and Megan. The play section of the needle still. needle's a monolith. You can tie your life to it. Megan was here to set down, settle with her husband. He went to the wizard tower. He later got kicked out of the wizard tower due to plagiarism and leaves him behind with Rose while he's somewhere around Gil. In doing so, Primrose can't live on her own because of how sick she is. Her mother, Megan, can't afford to get the potion from Varrock. So she sells books. There's a note in the book from Joss, the apprentice. There was something with the ink. Megan then got possessed by that demon. Doing so, she went back in time several times to save her daughter, but burned the book each time to repossess herself. They then figure out what's going on. In doing so, they tie Primrose to the needle, sending her back 3 years, and waking up with calling herself Gail, and thus starting the cycle again. Such a tragic story. But maybe we'll pay more attention to lore and everything. But until then, see you all later.